This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service, broadcasting live from the KFAB studio, penthouse studio, high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the only show in the metro area that talks about business expansion, real estate, construction, economic development, really anything related to Omaha becoming bigger, more vibrant, and more prosperous. Big shout out to our title sponsors. They are Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym, along with Dingman's Collision Center for metro area locations. And now, without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a man who is a legendary real estate deal maker at NAI NP Dodge, Trenton Magid.
What it is, Jeff.
All right, go ahead and say that again.
What it is, Jeff.
That's right. Well, good morning, Trenton. We've got an exciting, we always have an exciting show for everyone today. Want to remind you, though, if you haven't signed up for the Grow Omaha newsletter, go ahead and do that now. You can do it two ways, either by going to growomaha.com or sending an email to news@growomaha.com. This is an off week for our Grow Omaha Eats restaurant reviews, brought to you by All Makes Office Equipment Company. Chris Corey writes one of those every 2 weeks. Last week we had one, Twisted Cork, and next week we have one. But we don't say what they are until they come out, and so you'll have to listen to next week's show in order to find out exactly what that is.
You know how fun it is, Jeff, to talk to people about our newsletter and about our website, growomaha.com. It's amazing how it's catching on like wildfire.
Millions of views every year now. That's where we're at with it. So let's go into today's development news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. If you want to stop by the office, it's at 114th and Davenport. If you want to virtually stop by, it's at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Either way, it's early April. A lot of people are getting very serious about buying a house this time of year. One of the first steps you want to do is talk to Holly Schneiderwin or one of her team members at Eagle Mortgage. They do a great job helping you with your version of the American dream, conventional loans, FHA, VA. They do all of that. And you want to make sure before you go into the house hunting derby that you are armed and ready with a pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com.
Almost sounds illegal. Armed and ready.
Armed and ready. Armed and dangerous.
In a good way.
Well, we had a nice piece of development news out of North Omaha yesterday. It was a press conference with Mayor Stothert and the retired principal of Omaha North High School, along with officials from the YMCA and OPS. This is really cool. We've got a new football stadium going to be constructed for North High, the Vikings. Currently, they have been, for the last many years, using different school football stadiums. They're going to have their own. It will be open in 2027, just east of the high school, right there at approximately 35th and Ames Street. Very cool, though. It's going to be a joint venture with the YMCA. There is a YMCA location just to the east of North High known as Butler Gast YMCA. That will be completely rebuilt, and it'll actually be attached to the new stadium, so it'll be a joint use thing. And so the high school kids will play their games there. The YMCA kids will have their youth tournaments there. The rendering is going to show up on growomaha.com as one of our stories here later today. And it's a real nice step forward for Northeast Omaha.
And thank you very much. One of the biggest stakeholders in North Omaha for a long time, for decades, is the Lozier Foundation. And they're a lead donor on that with other partners. And I'm going to make a prediction. This is Trenton Magid. I don't have any concrete evidence, but given that the Lozier family, who's been a stalwart in all of Omaha, thank you, Dan Lozier, and all kinds of people that run the organization, I have a feeling that another big contributor to North Omaha and throughout the community is the Sherwood Foundation and Susie Buffett, Warren Buffett's daughter. I have a feeling that she has big projects in the work. Her father, the amazing Warren Buffett, 94 years old. And I'll guess that she wants to have a namesake development let's see what happens.
I hope you're right. Well, a vacant building at 2211 Douglas Street is slated for redevelopment. It had, not too many years ago, been known as the 402 Hotel. Before that, it was an Econo Lodge Hotel. Currently, it's an eyesore. It's a three-story building. The first level has plywood covering doors and windows. It had been used right after the pandemic by Together, the local organization, as a non-congregate shelter. It was, kind of one of those things during and right after the pandemic. It's only 20,000 square feet, so it's not a big building, built in 1964. Cool thing is, though, it's coming down. It's going to be demolished. The other cool thing is that it is going to be redeveloped. Along front porch investments, along with Together, sought developers through an RFP process earlier this year. Lincoln-based Hoppy Development plans to build a 73-unit mixed-income senior housing community with more than half of the units affordable to households earning at or below 60% of the area median income. Downtown Omaha could really use that.
Interesting how you call it a hotel when it's probably more of a motel.
Well, when it was an Econo Lodge, it was definitely a motel, but the official name of it when it was the 402 Hotel was the 402 Hotel.
Yes, sir.
So if that's what they name it, that's what I call it. Demolition of the existing structure is anticipated to occur this summer, so we don't have to wait too long to get rid of it. And construction should begin about a year from now, spring of 2026. And pending approvals, the first residents could move in by the fall of 2027. So more progress in the downtown area. Now, Trenton, speaking of progress in the downtown area, good news, the Baby Bob Bridge is officially open.
I want my baby Bob, baby Bob, baby Bob.
For public use. There was a soft opening last week. There are still a couple little fine-tuning construction items pending, so they haven't done the big ribbon cutting or anything like that. But of course, the Baby Bob connects the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge over the river to North Downtown on the north side of the Chi. Okay, we have another redevelopment effort for an eyesore former hotel. Another developer is stepping to the plate and going to take a swing at the old Exarban Suites Hotel, 7270 Cedar Street. You might, if you are an old timer or a long time Omahan, remember this. Opened in, I think it was the late 70s as the Granada Royale.
And then it became Doubletree?
Embassy Suites. And then it was Doubletree, I believe, but it was an Embassy Suites for a long time. But the Granada Royale, there weren't too many of them in America. In fact, I was in Scottsdale a few years ago, driving on Scottsdale Road, and I about slammed on the brakes because I saw a building. I'm like, that was a Granada Royale. You can just tell one when you see them. At any rate, it's been vacant for a long time. Back in 2021, a multifamily developer began the process of rezoning that closed hotel into a residential unit, but it stalled out. This week, the planning board is reviewing tax increment financing application for $3.5 million. The total renovation cost would be about $21 million. Plans call for 197 studio units. They would be small, 550 square feet and 650 square feet. But if they're nice, I bet they lease like hotcakes. Construction is expected to begin already this July.
Good location.
Yeah, and it's right there. Well, that whole area, I mean, the apartment construction in that whole greater Exarban area is crazy.
You got the Drover next door.
You could go to the Drover, and there's nothing wrong with that. Girls Inc. plans to open a recreational and services facility north of South High School's football stadium. Now, this property pretty much has nothing on it. It's just a grassy area between Missouri Avenue and K Street. The rezoning and special permit application shows plans for a two-story, 40,000 square foot building. It would have a surface parking lot and an outdoor play area. The facility would have a health and wellness space, an indoor gym, other amenities. Now, Girls Inc. was founded in North Omaha in 1975. They now serve about 1,000 girls and young women a year. Their headquarters is not too far from 45th and Ames, but they do have an existing South O location, which is known as the Emma Logier Center at 5407 South 30th Street. You know, this is just right off that 24th Street corridor,
yep.
which also has been doing great. And we know that there are all sorts of plans in the works for new amenities right in the heart of Old South O at 24th and N. So the entire area seems to really be doing great. Well, the developer behind the Urban Waters Apartments at Prairie Queen Lake and Papillion has plans to build another water-adjacent apartment project. This one, though, would be in far west Omaha. So far west that it would be in a marina or by a marina right by Salted Edge Restaurant. So that's pretty far west. And the planning board documents show plans for a 124-unit apartment complex in the West Shores Lake community. It would consist of 2 4-story buildings, like I said, right by the marina near Salted Edge Restaurant.
The neighbors are loving it.
The first floor of each building would be enclosed parking, with the upper 3 floors having apartments, including 67 one-bedroom and 57 two-bedroom units. And just like that other one walking to the Drover, these folks can walk to the Salted Edge.
It's not a bad deal.
Construction is underway on the Primrose School of Elkhorn. The address is 19401 South HMS Cleveland Boulevard. Now, that address is a mouthful.
Yeah.
19401 South HMS Cleveland Boulevard
is all over West Omaha. It meanders.
Yeah, and the goal, as I understand it, is for it to someday be completely connected. That someday is probably a long ways away because there's lots of things that are in the way that still have to be developed. But at any rate, if you're wondering where is 19401 South HMS Cleveland Boulevard, it's just southwest of the 192nd and West Dodge Expressway interchange. So in that area, you have the recently opened Bankers Trust building. They are a Grow Omaha sponsor, by the way. And also the fairly recently opened MD West 1 building. And so it's kind of that area just west of what we call Avenue 1, which is part of that Good Life District. So a lot of things happening in that area. Trenton, we've got one last story for today's news segment, and that is the Omaha Economic Development Corporation will host a grand opening and ribbon-cutting ceremony for Laramore Senior Housing on May 31st at 34th and Laramore Avenue. This is formerly an old Emmanuel Hospital before the current Emmanuel Hospital. It was remodeled by Boyd Jones Construction, 45-unit senior living complex, aims to boost affordable housing for low and moderate income residents in Omaha's neighborhood revitalization strategy areas. The facility will feature an internal theater, a large kitchen area to serve individuals with special needs.
They're going to have a lot of soft carrots there, I bet.
If there are a lot of old people, they tend to have soft carrots, but you forgot something important.
I miss my grandma.
Jell-O salad.
Oh, no, thank you.
And with that, we wrap up your development news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to bring on Mosah Goodman. He is the co-founder of Job Lasso, a startup right here in Omaha and one of our Grow Omaha sponsors. You're going to love hearing about this company, and you're going to be proud that these types of startup companies are happening in your favorite city, Omaha, Nebraska. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Hello, Grow Omaha.
I miss my grandma too.
Yeah.
Me too. Same.
So I picture people driving down the road and spitting their coffee out of their windshield. That's when I know I've been successful.
Chris practically behind the camera. Your cameraman was having a tough time with that one.
That's right. But this time I didn't take super time to live on that.
Jake Gardner?
Almost.
Oh, good. What your CMO is there?
Away from
Yeah, I mean,
Or is he doing it on his web
away
TV?
from. I don't care about the board.
I'm having lunch with him a week from Monday.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I'm pissed at his son right now.
And then,
Well, son might be
You're
watching
coming
this.
to the comedy night, right?
Yeah, so how did you get associated with Kobe?
Oh, we're buddies. My wife works in McGrath.
He's hilarious. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
What is she? Is she an attorney?
Yes, she's a litigator in the bankruptcy over there.
Okay. What's her name?
Lauren.
Lauren?
Yeah.
The Kobe's funny, and so we bought it. Jeff and I
I hope so.
bought a table.
I hope so. That'll be fun.
Colleen, who's the managing partner of Funny Bone,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
And
It was the last show for him at that location. So.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're moving like the next month or two.
Something like that.
Yeah, Bill, we get you to go around a little bit.
So you don't have here. You don't have any just you want to yeah you want to speaking of this, hold on, do you get the Viagra for this? All right, so
There we go.
yeah so you don't have any Omaha
Put it down just
Goodman
a little
relatives.
more.
Tilted a little.
Tilted a little lower.
There you go.
You don't have any Omaha Goodman relatives, do you? But you don't have any Goodman relatives here?
No.
Okay. Do you know Rabbi Abraham?
Oh, yeah.
Is he your buddy?
Yeah.
Is that your shul? We just put on that October 8th. I got that to come to Omaha. The movie October 8th.
Oh, yeah.
We had 300 people over 2 days at the ACX theaters. Great guy.
Good movie, too.
Good movie. Yeah, he was there.
That was well done.
I've never heard of it. Documentary on Israeli
Anti-Semitism in America.
Okay.
I got the soundtrack. It's fucking great.
You're sick.
I'm waiting for the waiting for the action figures.
He does these wonderful things for the community, like bringing that movie here and making it possible.
It wasn't going to be in
Then
Omaha.
he
I
says shit
actually
like
brought
that.
it here.
That's what makes him him.
That's what makes him turn.
Don't throw him any curveballs like that.
All right, fellas.
Talking about jobs.
Fellas, mark on your calendars. May 22nd is we're going to the Omaha Press Club, and Jeff and I are going to be inducted into the barroom floor.
We're gonna be faces on the barroom floor. Just
Oh, really? Oh, that's great. When is this?
You're good with it?
Wouldn't the barroom floor be a perfect place for these faces?
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
No, that's great. That's awesome.
We're like, I think we're the
At the Omaha Press Club.
181st or so, maybe 182nd.
Do you want to plug the foot
I
on
haven't
bed?
been to the
Totally. That's
Sure.
what I'm asking.
Yeah.
You want to bring that up?
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
And you can,
Next
I'll
time
just
I
get tickets on
and you guys are a sponsor, or what's the?
Yeah, it's for OBA. It's for the Omaha Bar Association.
Okay.
Because it's on the top
So
floor.
we're
It's got
buying the food and drink.
So,
What club?
starving
Starving
lawyers.
Lawyers.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, they're giving circle.
Can I joke about that? Sure.
It's no Holocaust.
We're good there.
Weather turns bad. Turn to News Radio 11.
At the end of that movie, after the credits, the wacky outtakes are incredible.
Be ready when storms develop.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beal sitting next to Trenton Magid. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, which has 4 metro area locations. Each of them is just as good as the other, so it doesn't matter which one you pick. They all do a great job, and they'll all take care of your car in the unfortunate incident that you've got a crack up, a bang up, a scratch up, or anything like that. Been around forever, Best of Omaha Award winner, and they are outstanding. By the way, also brought to you by our good friends at Cheer Athletics. They are the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. 15 locations around the world, one of them in Omaha. They're not all in the United States, by the way, so it's a big deal that they're here, local location in Papillion near Highways 50 and 370. Well, we like to do these business feature segments periodically so you can be aware of very cool businesses happening in your area. And one of those is Job Lasso. It's a startup. And they are also one of our Grow Omaha sponsors. They sponsor our articles and stories on growomaha.com. And with us today is co-founder Mosah Goodman. Mosah, good morning and welcome to Grow Omaha.
Thanks so much, guys. Pleasure to be here. Thanks, Jeff and Trenton.
Yeah, it's our honor to have you, and this is really exciting because everyone talks about the need to have a robust startup community in Omaha, and we'll get into some of that in a minute. But why don't you start first with just giving us the overview of what Job Lasso is?
Yeah, sure. No, that sounds great. Thanks so much again for having us or having me on the show this morning. Job Lasso, I think the best way to think about it or describe it is really solving the problem of people always wanting to look for a new job, but not necessarily wanting to tell the world that they're looking for a new job. So Job Lasso helps solve that problem by allowing professionals, and we're starting here in Omaha, and we're starting with lawyers and paralegals, basically the legal profession, to look for new jobs and explore new opportunities in complete privacy. That's the novelty of it, right? Everyone can send out a resume and everyone can say, I'm looking for a job, but most people don't want to go about the search that way. And so Job Lasso is a really innovative piece of software that allows candidates to look for new jobs entirely confidentially. So we're playing off the concept of always be looking, but you don't have to tell anyone. Job Lasso helps solve that problem.
I was looking at your LinkedIn profile. It talks about reverse recruiting or reverse something.
Yeah, so we really think about advocating for, we are candidate centric, but we are recruiter and employer friendly. So all someone has to do is get on Job Lasso, create a profile. It takes a few minutes, and we start helping you search for your next job entirely confidentially. So we have a unique algorithm. It's proprietary to Job Lasso that matches you with new opportunities. And if and when you're interested in connecting, maybe some are interesting, maybe some aren't, you then can connect with the employer and begin messaging them entirely confidentially, entirely anonymously. And we think it's going to revolutionize job searching, particularly for those professionals who know that the great opportunities don't always come around and don't have the time or energy or the desire to put themselves out there publicly, and they want to still be on the market.
What was the impetus to start Job Lasso?
Yeah, it was really born out of it's a great question. It was really born out of the last 10 years of working with candidates in a business that I run. Every one of the 250 or so candidates I work with wants to find a new job, and that's kind of what you were talking about on the reverse recruiting side, but they don't want anyone to know about it. So I got together with my co-founders, Lindsay Hoffbauer and Brian Ray, and said, is there a technology solution that we can build to help really bring a solution to this problem? And that's kind of how Job Lasso was born a year or so ago. And we've had 4 law firms. Again, we're starting with the legal community here in Omaha and then looking to grow beyond that. But we're a Nebraska company. We were funded by a series of investors, and then we've been the 2-time recipient of the Nebraska Prototype Grant. So we are launching with our early adopter law firms here, Baird Home, McGrath North, Fraser Stryker, and Coley Jessen. And we are, as Jeff said, we're a startup. So we're learning a lot. We're open to lots of feedback, but we're really helping people look for jobs without having to let the world know they're looking.
I think your tagline should be, "We've got legal issues."
That's one possibility.
Like really good legal issues.
I'm sure he'll run that by the focus group as soon as he gets out of the studio.
We'll workshop that.
We're talking with Mosah Goodman, co-founder of Job Lasso. And Mosah, you talked about these local law firms being among your first clients. So if I understand correctly, the candidates are kind of like the inventory, right? And so you probably need a lot of, or want a lot of candidates to register with the website, or how does that work?
That's entirely right. Yeah, it's entirely free for candidates to get on the platform. It takes 5 or 10 minutes, and it's entirely confidential. So you don't have to have...
But you verify who they are?
We do have a process to verify who they are so that you're not a bot, and so that those who... It's vetted on both sides, right? We know that the jobs that are on Job Lasso are real, right? So you're not going to be one of 400 applicants applying to something that doesn't materialize. And on the candidate side, for our employers, we make sure that the people who come onto the platform are who they say they are. And then we leave it to the two parties to connect through the algorithm, have a conversation, and when they're ready, say, "Hi, my name's Trenton Magid, and I'm interested."
Yeah, I don't have a law license, but I'm interested.
Okay.
They just might not be interested in your licenseless practice.
Well, Job Lasso is a cool name, and Jeff and I are excited that you've got an event that features another attorney at one of your law firms that you work with, our friend Chris Covey, who's really tall, but very funny and a talented attorney. Tell us about that event at the Funny Bone.
Yeah, thank you. So this Thursday, April 10th, we're hosting a legal comedy night, and we've been promoting it on our social, and we've been sending it out to folks to let them know. It's actually a fundraiser for the Omaha Bar Association. So, as you said, starving lawyers.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we're raising money for a good cause when we're doing this, and Chris is going to get up with another comedian and provide some entertainment. It's really a social and fun evening.
And it's a huge value at $10 a head.
Yeah, and all that money goes straight to the Omaha Bar Association. So we're not keeping $1 of it, and we're buying people drinks and food, and it should be a fun evening.
And you can meet Jeff and Trenton at no additional charge.
Yeah, no, that's VIP seating.
And we're even paying to go to it.
So you got that going for you, ladies and
Which is
gentlemen.
nice.
Which is nice. Thank you. Mosah, so you've got these initial law firms that are on board. Are you looking for other law firms to join in? Do you want some of the other law firms in the area to contact you?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've actually been getting quite a few inquiries from different law firms, both national and here focused solely on the Omaha market. And we're thrilled. We're having conversations. We're looking for more feedback. But yeah, absolutely, we would be interested in having those conversations and are having them literally every week. Most importantly, though, we built this to help people search for jobs confidentially and confidently, because we know people are always looking. And so we want people to go on, build your free profile, start using the system. And as an Omaha startup, we want as much feedback on it as we can get.
What's your next industry? Accounting or?
Well, that's interesting. Accounting is probably the most in-demand white-collar job right now across the country. But right now we're focused on Omaha and the legal market. We'll have to see where it goes.
This is kind of your test market.
Well, it's where we started, right? And we're learning a lot, and the feedback that we've been getting is tremendous. And thanks to our board.
Both sides, I assume, sign some kind of a confidentiality agreement so they don't hurt their current position, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, when you're on the platform, nobody knows who you are. They just know your credentials, right? So you're being matched based on who you actually, what you bring to the table, and not so much who you are. And even though Omaha is one of the benefits of it is that it's a great small town, we all know that when you go to a coffee shop, people notice you.
Right.
And so this is a way for candidates to always be looking to make sure they can market themselves, know their worth, market their book of business, and do so anonymously.
Right.
When you go to joblasso.com, the headline is "Always be looking, even when you're not."
And the spelling of that is?
JOBLASSO, joblasso.com.
Two.
It's a double S. Okay. Just like the cowboy lasso.
Yeah.
Mosah, we appreciate you sharing information about the company, and we also appreciate the contribution that you're making to the Omaha economy and for being one of our Grow Omaha sponsors.
Thanks so much for all you guys do. It's always great to listen to you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on.
Mosah Goodman, co-founder of Job Lasso, joblasso.com. Going to take our middle of the show break for the news. And when we come back, it'll be our Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight of the week. And we're also going to talk about litter. Yeah, we need to kind of clean up a few things around here, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss this. It is important. So stay with us. You are listening to Grow Omaha. It's brought to you by Cheer Athletics, along with Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Well done.
Is that all right?
Went fast, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll cut it down so you can link it and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Can I get a picture with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is there a
Chris, do you mind?
surcharge?
He's a
Mind taking
professional.
it? Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe you can do one with his phone. Sure. Yeah.
You want to, should we do an action shot with the microphones, or do you want to?
One action shot and one posed shot?
Sure.
Whatever you want to
Okay.
do.
That'd be great.
Cameras like this talent
This is the
very
longer break, so
demanding.
it's okay. We've got time.
Oh, so this is the posed picture first.
Pose picture. Here we go.
Already talked to your accountant and your lawyer?
Oops.
Now you need to call Sunbelt Business Brokers.
Go.
We're the
All right, let's seriously.
for more businesses, more money than anybody in Nebraska. Call Sunbelt Business Brokers.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
And we got the real.
Rapid Radio,
Yeah.
instant push-to-talk
Yeah.
walkie-talkies
No, I don't have the
offering national
angle
LTE
you've got with
coverage
that.
and no
Yeah, because that's all video.
Great
But
alternative to a mobile
but he'll
phone.
like Trenton
For a
said,
limited time, go to
Chris
rapidradios.com
does all
and get
this
60% off free UPS
all this
shipping
stuff with the
and
video, and so you guys will be able to
extra
just share it if you
5%
want to, or
Okay,
anything
great.
like that.
Awesome. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it'd be fun to see it. So that, what is that, Thursday night, right?
Yeah, Thursday
My,
night.
my wife is coming in that day, like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She's been gone for like 6 weeks down in Columbia, where
Oh, sweet.
she's from.
Yeah.
October 8th.
And so she's like, I'm gone. So we'll see if she follows through.
Actually,
That's why she's coming back, just the show.
Well, I think that she might be spending the night in Dallas or something, so hopefully she'll be refreshed.
I think it's playing.
Big meter, it's cool.
It's playing at Exorbitant.
What's interesting is that she,
it's playing at Elkhorn. It's a good documentary. Yeah.
long story short is we did 23andMe. You know, she was raised,
So it's not like
she's not very religious, but she
No,
was raised in
no.
Cali, Columbia,
That's not crazy.
and a Catholic family and everything else.
I'd be interested in seeing it. Okay.
But she wanted 23andMe, and I figured the Chinese already had all our information anyway. Comes back, she's 15% Ashkenazi.
Okay.
I'm 97.7%
Sure,
Ashkenazi Jewish from Western Ukraine.
If it's on movies anyway.
And-
Match made in heaven.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
comes back 15%.
Yada, yada, yada.
So,
Probably
so
on
she
Amazon.
goes back to Columbia, takes two of the
Retests?
retest her
He
parents.
doesn't believe it.
No, retest her
Does it
parents.
recount?
Sure, they can get some different results.
Retest her parents. Her mom's 50%, which means that her grandmother, Brunilda Polanco, was 100% and she lived to 95, never told anybody. We assume she knew about it, but they were Catholic. And so I married a woman who I thought was
Had
not
chicks
religious,
appeal
but
and
yeah,
then-
chicks appeal, yeah, no question about it.
We're off the air, right?
No, we're recording.
We're off this there, but we're still on that.
This is uncut. It's good humor, but so yeah, I could use a lot of off-color humor right now, but
He is the off-color.
so you've well adjusted over 10
I
years.
just
And,
understand.
Yeah, we love it. I mean,
so were you guys recruited here, or where did you meet your wife?
we met at Iowa. We both went to
Okay.
law school there, so we met. Con laws and aphrodisiacs.
Yeah, there you go. Two lawyers in one house.
Yeah, she wins always.
How many kids
Two.
that you know about?
I use that line sometimes. That's
Hazel.
good.
I love saying that to women. Like ones that I got two kids
Five.
that you know about.
Yeah, and it's on Fandango.
a little bit.
Fandango.
For the first time.
What
I'll put it on
what
my
time are the
list.
games today?
What games?
Nebraska Bowl is at, they play Boise at 12:30.
Boise. Who?
Boise State.
Oh, Nebraska and the
Nebraska.
This is another tournament. I'm talking about the Final Four.
The
Do
meaningless tournament.
That's tonight, I think.
you know that 3 of the 4 coaches are Jewish?
I didn't know that.
The only one that's not is Houston.
Really?
And the best one is Bruce Pearl from Auburn, who I went to win. He was like laying to fill in like on the court. So it was
Really?
Check it out online. It's really cool.
I have to check that out.
Thanks, man.
No, this is great. Thank you guys. Yeah,
Appreciate it, Mosah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Give him my
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Jeff can give me your information. I'll send you mine.
Yeah, that sounds good. I have the
got
party
it, yeah.
downstairs. So actually, no, I do have one.
Yeah, give my last one away.
These
I just got something in my teeth. Thank you.
these startup
not be good for them.
companies like paper business card.
No, it's got a QR code. All right, thanks so much, guys. Really
Very good.
appreciate
Great
it.
job.
And let me know if you want to talk about that.
Okay.
other stuff.
Yeah. Anytime.
Thanks
Enjoy
so
your
much, guys.
weekend.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Tell all your lawyer friends.
Thank you. For sure. Thank you. Thanks. Have a
See
good
ya.
one. You know how to get out?
Generally this way. Yeah.
Take a left,
So
then a
we'll talk
right,
after,
then
but
go straight ahead.
I think it's a pretty easy process.
Not to interrupt you, but I'm going to interrupt you. What are we going to talk about for our novel today? What should we talk about?
Talk about Sam.
We don't need to talk about Sam looking for a date again.
Did he give me hits?
Yeah.
He's in Japan or something. I don't know where he
Any
is.
calls.
There you go.
Well, he's really taking this seriously if he's going all the way to Japan. He's not going to Thailand. Okay.
We can play a game of like going back and forth on nodal developments.
Okay, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know what I'm gonna ask. What should I ask you?
Okay. So we're gonna try to come up with like 10 local nodal developments
Okay. All right. Okay.
and move back and forth.
Okay.
5 o'clock, Trent. That's when the Final Four starts.
5 o'clock, Omaha time.
Omaha time, yeah, Central.
Who plays first?
I believe
We'll have to do
Auburn.
it.
I
We'll have
believe
to do
the
a quick
Queen is
pace.
first. So,
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
We'll have to do a quick pace.
That's. Was that a saber wound or? Is that a saber wound or
no,
barely noticeable?
that's just
We
it.
look at a blooper.
we could be setting ourselves up for another blooper.
We haven't had one of those in quite a while.
I love that the hotel.
We're gonna have to go real fast paced, Trenton.
Ho.
What was the one that we laughed the
Nothing
hardest?
so cool. This is it.
It's 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
No,
ago?
at the beginning of this show.
Soft carrots.
Yes. I miss my grandma.
We know that KFAB has. Probably shouldn't say anything about other advertising on KFAB, but they have some advertising for a couple senior living facilities, and they're all kind of like delicious food, and I'm like, What about that delicious
I remember.
food? What about that delicious food?
I just remember taking
really
my grandma Maggot, Bernice Maggot, who was
soft.
who was awesome, to Bombay Bicycle Club
Oh, I remember that place.
on 72nd Street, which is now what, Office Max probably.
Somewhere, yeah, it's either
And-
that
10
or
seconds,
the
boys.
strip center.
And she wanted softer
My
kits.
grandpa was at a place where they had a
Did you get them?
Oh,
Sure.
food was good there.
All right, here we go.
Now that we're down to Ewing Stoddard for mayor, on who might each candidate count to vote for him in the general? It's the Rosie Did You Know on the podcast page under Jim Rose, KFAB.com.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid with you, brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center. It is time for your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, brought to you, of course, by Noddle Companies. You can find out more about them by going to noddlecompanies.com. And they are famous for so many real estate developments and buildings here in the Omaha area. And Noddle also does things out of town, a lot of different states, by the way. A lot of people don't realize just how active and involved Noddle Companies really is. And to illustrate that point, the topic of today's segment is going to be Know Your Noddle Companies in Omaha. It's a contest. We are going to see if Jeff and Trenton can come up with 10 local Noddle Companies developments. We got to do this really fast because we're running out of time. 10 Noddle Companies developments in the metro area. And we're going to have Trenton go first.
River's Edge in Council Bluffs.
That's 1. 2, Xarban Village.
I'm going old school with Joe Kirschenbaum and Harlan Ottle, the founders. I will say Commercial Federal Business Park, which is now BMO.
Okay,
Business Park.
I thought we were going to do this real fast paced, but yes, 3. That is right. Okay.
First National Business Park.
Okay, good. First National Business Park. Number 4, Builders District.
Number 5, Valmont headquarters.
Valmont headquarters, very good one. Number 6, Village Point West Medical Campus.
Number 7 is Exarban Village.
Did I say that one already, Bill? Or would not? Okay, number 7, Exarban Village. Okay, now I've got to say one. The new Noddle Companies mixed-use development in Gretna, part of Gretna Landing, northwest of 192nd and 370.
The residential spot developments where they're doing row houses in Midtown.
And number 10 would be the very cool, those are row houses in Midtown?
Yeah.
Okay. I will say number 10 then is that the Dewey Avenue ones or the ones just off Leavenworth by about 50th?
Combined, so you have to come up with something better.
All right, the HDR headquarters building.
Perfect.
10, and that is your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development.
That's just a fraction.
Spotlight. Yeah, there are a lot more. Like I said, you can find out more about them by going to noddlecompanies.com. Well, everyone always says March is the windiest month of the year. I looked it up online this morning. It's second. Do you know what the windiest month of the year is? This one, April. And when it is windy, we have a little bit of a trash problem, and it's time for a spring cleanup. So I was driving a couple weeks ago around town, and I'm driving down 480, and I look around and I'm like, geez, there's a lot of litter along the side. It looks like terrible, looks like crap. And so then I go on to I-80 westbound, and it's even worse, like around 42nd Street and all that area. Then I get to 680, getting closer to our office, NAINP Dodge. I got to take the West Dodge Expressway exit, litter along 682. And so then I started noticing a little bit more, and I've also noticed, just West Dodge Expressway had a little problem. So I called the Nebraska Department of Transportation, the District 2 office in Omaha. They're responsible for cleaning litter along the freeways in Omaha because those are all state-maintained roads. And I was very nice about it, and I said, hey, basically I'm calling because we got a bad problem right now. And so
they're like, we didn't know that.
We had a nice long, they did not say they did not know that. We had a nice talk, and I got some information for everyone I want to share with you. First of all, every week, Nebraska Department of Transportation for the Omaha metro area alone, just the freeways, this doesn't include the city streets that the city takes care of, just the freeways, they fill 10 cubic yard dumpsters every week.
Wow.
Full of litter, plus a bigger dumpster full of furniture and large objects
They fall out of trucks and
that
stuff like that.
fall out of trucks. The biggest culprits for trash alongside the freeway are number one, littering, of course, people who are idiots and they just litter. Number two, garbage trucks that don't properly seal. And you've seen that when you've driven on the road and a garbage truck is blowing trash. And number three, pickup trucks. There are a lot of pickup trucks that are irresponsible in the way they secure things in the back of the bed. The vast majority of the large debris you see on the freeway system is stuff that bounces out irresponsibly out of the back of pickup trucks. So I said to him, well, what are we doing about this? Because it doesn't look good. And he said they have 4 inmate crews that are out every week. These are prisoners who, because of good behavior, can get out and do some work. And there are 4 of those. Each crew has 4 people in the crew. So 16 people are out picking up litter. NDOT says they generally work pretty well. But we got issues. And the other thing he said is they only run the street sweeper. They run a street sweeper to get all the grit, gravel, and small objects on the concrete shoulder and the concrete median where you have the concrete barrier. That only runs from April 1st to the end of October. So that only started a few days ago. So what I'm saying is the NDOT sounds like they're doing the best they can with the money that they do or don't have. But I'm going to challenge Grow Omaha listeners to be better. We say this almost every year. The way our city looks has a big impact on whether visitors come and spend their money in our museums and our restaurants and our stores. It has a big impact on whether companies want to expand here. It has a big impact on the emotional outlook and mental opinions residents have of the city. So I'm saying, have you gone out and checked your property? If the back of your commercial or residential property is kind of out of sight, out of mind, do you go back there and see if there's litter against the fence line? Because you still have another month of really windy weather. We got to be on top of this.
Absolutely. My challenge to everyone listening is, especially if you like role play, why don't you go out in a safe way, wear your yellow clothing so you can be seen. Don't put yourself in danger, but you can get one of those pickup things and a trash bag. Go out for a walk, get your steps in, and pick it up. It doesn't have to be on your property. It can be on public property, whatever. You can do neighborhoods as well as, don't get on the freeway. That's not a good idea.
They definitely don't, they don't even do adopt a highway on the freeway anymore because there's too much traffic.
But you can play the role of a prison inmate.
I think we're running out of time.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So in other words, get out there and clean up the damn city, folks. It doesn't look good when there's all this litter out there, and we all need to do our part. So with that, we're going to get a little bit cheerier in the next segment because it's our Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, which is when we talk about a lot of things in a very short period of time, and we've got a very long list. So you don't want to miss any of it. Stay with us. It's Grow Omaha. It's brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction, and it's back after this on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
When he first started talking about role play, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
God, where's this going?
First thing that came to my mind, pull up.
Hit the dump button, hit the dump. I got one right here.
We knew where it was going.
But then he didn't go there.
And then we all went,
Yeah, then it took a turn, and then I was like, okay.
Oh,
All right.
But could you imagine people driving around like...
or some people might be mad at you.
Like, oh, yeah.
That's sick trendy, so inappropriate.
Yeah.
But, for
All the
every
tidy-whities in town.
for every Karen that says, it's not that often that sends Groma, Trent needs to be more whatever.
Oh, once a month.
People enjoy it, and
That's all?
It don't bother me. It entertains me.
Just about once a month, yeah.
But I'm easily amused.
Now, they're not always named Karen.
so put it in your book, guys. May
A lot are.
May 22nd, our treat. We got to figure out. We can have like 225 people, and
Wait, we're paying for 225 people to go? Oh, okay.
no, we just select people like these.
Okay.
And
Like, who are we treating? We treat these guys.
so we just have to. We'll talk about it afterwards. But so we can get the bar or not. We can pay for parking or not.
Now, no, you got to dress up. No wearing the faux show T-shirt to this thing.
What is this thing? Oh, the
Press club.
Have you been to the press club?
No, I
Based on the
haven't.
bar
It's been a
report.
long time. I haven't been there in a long
So we should.
No Linux, something CT.
We need to go with our wives before Amy and I skedaddle.
Oh yeah.
Because we're out the 25th.
Okay.
I think it'll be cool. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'll put it in my
It'll
calendar.
be a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah. it'll be a
When did
blast.
you guys find out about that?
That was last month or so.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Gary's on the board. What other?
Didn't Gary tell you he would be willing to MC?
No, he wants to be the MC.
Okay, good. He'd be great.
10 seconds.
Okay, here we go.
We'll have about 5 minutes.
It's on movies anywhere now. So you can buy it digitally.
Yeah, but it's like $19.95.
25.
$25?
Yeah. But it's a new release, so.
$19.95 on Amazon Prime. I think.
Is that?
It's the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, brought to you by Perkins Kreitzer Construction. They are an outstanding, top-notch, Omaha-based Class A general contractor. They build just about anything, whether it's an office building, a strip center, a church, a financial institution, a lot of retail build-out. And speaking of retail build-out, Perkins Kreitzer Construction is the proud contractor of the brand new Barnes & Noble store, Shadow Lake Town Center. It is opening officially this week on Wednesday, April 9th. Perkins Kreitzer Construction has done such a great job of turning what had been a former Best Buy store. It was Best Buy, and it is now a beautiful bookstore with all sorts of great fixtures, 12,000 square feet. This Barnes & Noble is located actually on the far north end cap of the long kind of outside ring of retailers along that of all those buildings that kind of form the outer shell of Shadow Lake Town
Who would have
Center.
thought bookstores coming back?
Well, you know, I love bookstores, and I always kept going to them, and I like electronic reading as well. But there's something about a book. So Perkins Kreitzer Construction, good job, guys, for bringing Omaha a second Barnes and Noble in Papillion's Shadow Lake Town Center. You can find out more about that company by going to p-cconstruction.com. That's p-cconstruction.com. All right, here we go. The Spice and Tea Exchange officially opens in Village Point this weekend. They're actually open now, but this is their soft opening weekend. In Village Point, over by the brand new Meddy's restaurant.
Yeah, I've been there. Have you tried it yet?
I have not, but I am going to go check out that Spice and Tea Exchange because I love those types of places. They even, in addition to selling the loose leaf tea and the spices and all that, they do have an in-house tea bar as well. And Trenton Acadian Grill and Bar is going to expand their services.
I'm excited about that. Dan and Jennifer that own it do a wonderful job. I love Acadian Grill. You know, I went to college at Tulane in New Orleans, and their food is spectacular. Dan and Jennifer O'Brien, proprietors, nice people.
So what's the service they're going to?
Oh, they're going to have breakfast. They're going to be open for breakfast. Just check out their website for Acadian Grill or their Facebook page.
Located in the Miracle Hills area on the east side of 114th Street. And speaking of breakfast, the Brunch Box has announced that they are opening a second location. The existing location, the first location, is downtown in the Capital District. And this second location is actually going to be in Oakview Mall. They are going to be part of the Renaissance of Oakview Mall. They're going to go in the food court. And we've talked about a couple big users, like recreation type users, going to Oakview Mall. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But as the name would indicate, they focus on breakfast and lunch items. Primo's Modern Mexican Restaurant, 60th and Center, was closed for somewhat of an extended period of time, but they did go ahead and reopen their store within the last week, and so that's encouraging to see them back and up and running. Trenton, we've got a small restaurant building that is going to be constructed in the Pepperwood Village development near 156th and West Dodge Road. It's going through planning board right now. Just a small 2,700 square foot restaurant building near the First Interstate Bank branch. Are going to take up part of the existing parking lot. But we have an idea. We think we know what it is.
Well, if you look at the planning board, this is public information. it looks like the main prototype for a Starbucks. Starbucks is on the southwest corner, 156 and Dodge, back there behind Anderson Amico. It doesn't have the best access, so I doubt they would keep both sides. Some of the controversy is that whether the developer is going to have enough parking with everything that's over there by Baker's.
And speaking of controversy, Club 180, an adult entertainment club located inside Two Fine Irishman Bar near 180th and Q, is facing a $10 million lawsuit from neighboring businesses, employees, and security guards. The lawsuit alleges labor law violations, but that's nothing compared to what they're also alleging. Sex and drug trafficking and misappropriation of funds. An attorney statement claims the club's owner instructed dancers and customers to use cocaine and alcohol in areas not covered by cameras. Again,
and for the record, that is illegal.
These are just allegations, though, so nothing for sure yet.
Probably not the best fit in that shopping center or anywhere.
And happier news, Barn Girls Farms held a ribbon cutting this week for its new store at 5306 South 73rd Street in Ralston. A very cool family-owned business that is a farm-to-table operation right there in Ralston. And then we have Woodhouse Cadillac is building a 26,000 square foot auto dealership at 173rd and Burt Street in West Dodge Point. That's just north on the north side of the freeway from Village Point. A Genesis dealership is also in the same area. And for those of you who like Hooters, that organization has filed for bankruptcy, but will remain open for business. The Atlanta-based restaurant chain has more than 400 locations in 42 states and 29 countries, including La Vista and Council Bluffs locally.
It's been a bumpy road for that company.
And the music is playing, which means that we are out of time and out of here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggot.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. We'll chat with you again next week at 9, right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
All right, good show.
Good show, guys.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.